Hello, I'm Sean Brown from WiSen Innovation, and in this WiSen Quick Guide video series, I'm going to show you how you can use the spike filter control to manage your data within the web platform. So just a quick few notes on the purpose of the tool. So essentially, if you have a sensor and it reports random outlier values, and it's important here that they are above any defined trigger threshold limits, then this tool is for you. There's an alternative method, I suppose, that could be utilized. And so if you had a fast reading interval, which we call T, then you could utilize a move-in median. And as long as the outlier is not too repetitive within that kind of move-in time period, then obviously it won't be reported going forward. And the third point is just to note that no data will appear at the defined epoch when the spike filter is used. And therefore, it's obviously not taken forward for any related computation, for example, in an IPI cumulative computation. You can remove the spike filter at any time, and obviously that brings back the data as it was before. So we're just going to look at an example here. And so this sensor data is an IPI. And we can see that it's connected to a 4002 interface head. We are on a T interval of 5 minutes. And we can see here we have 10 IPIs within a borehole. And here we have the decimal degree tilt angle. Just so you understand the location where I am at the moment, then I am in Data, Show Table, and I'm on the Node tab. Now, if I click on a value of interest, so for example here, I don't know where the outlier is. I've not looked at this data historically, but I know there is an outlier here currently being observed. I click on one of the values in the IPI. Now I've made a note of which sensors are within this IPI, so therefore I'm going to use the drop-down menu, and I'm just going to select all those within the IPI, of which there's 10. There we go, and we press plot. Pressing plot here, you can see this is data over the 8 hours, and this button allows you to go further back in time or focus in a very current point, for example. But you can see here there are some random values that are appearing. They are false values for whatever reason, and we don't want those reported going forward. They are not consistent in when they appear. They are kind of a random time period for whatever reason. If they were values that repetitively appeared, then obviously that's a little bit concerning. That might need a bit of further investigation. But you can see by being as they are, the use of a median tool, for example, over a time period would take those away. I'm just going to put my mouse on top of a value here. So you can see here this is a value at 7:45. It's random. It's at that value you see on the screen, 8.58. And we look at the next one, then obviously that's 7:55. So for example, if we had a moving median of 1 hour and you're reading a T interval every 5 minutes, then the median wouldn't report the value because you're utilizing all the values within the hour, and then you're reporting the middle value from that hour, and only twice within that hour period. Just as an example, for these 2 points on the screen, they have appeared, therefore they would not be reported. So what can we do about that? Well, first of all, make a note of the one that has the spike, and it's 813. And you can see here we have a button which is called Spike Filtering Step Detection. They are a combined button. We press that, and if you want to know more about how it works, we can press the instruction button, and you can see there we have a load of notes that you can read in your own time. But essentially what we're doing is, if you look at the purple text, in this example, we have a spike that appears once, and then we have a spike 2 here that's occurred 5 times in a row. So we have the ability to control and report when that spike occurs or when you want it to be removed, if it's repetitive multiple times, or if it only appears once, then obviously that will take the data out. But we can see previously on the screen in the background, it's only appearing once. It's not a repetitive spike. Therefore, we want to control it at the N1 interval. So I'm just going to press OK to that. Go back to the spike filtering, and I'm going to press the spike filtering button. We have the 10 IPIs that I'm interested in, and now what I want to do is set a low range, a high range. Do I want to apply it to the data that's in the past? Yes, because the spike issue is there. And do I want to apply it to the future because that problem will persist? Yes, you do. So to do this, we need to first of all make sure we press the setting button. And you can see here, you can enter the values in individually. Now, make a note here, it was number 13 that had the issue, and that was the only one. But you are welcome to obviously to apply it to all. And I think what I do in this example, I will do that just so you can be familiar with the tool. If you're doing them individually, then you can obviously enter the values you see here individually. Yes, yes. If you're wanting to apply them all in one entry, we can press this little toolbar button. And note you're doing this for the A axis. If I press the B axis, you've obviously now got two little tool buttons. So you're looking to apply it twice essentially. We press that. Now you've got to come up with a value that's above your trigger limits. Bearing in mind you might be doing a cumulative trigger. So what you're looking at here is the raw decimal degree angles. There's no computational mass. So therefore it's low risk for what we're doing, And my analysis of this data is occurring around the 8 value. But just to be on the safe side, I'm going to put -3 in. 3. I want to apply it to the historic data, yes. Do I want to apply it to the future? Yes. Obviously, I've got the ability now to select the one node, or I can select all the nodes, and we press confirm. We have the summary box for what's going to change. So you can see here, obviously, we've done it for the A axis. We do the same thing for the B. -3, 3, yes, yes, invert, confirm, confirm. So then you see on the screen, we've applied that spike filter. We press save. Are we sure? Yes, we are. And we press OK. So what's going to go on now in the background, you can see at the top, we've got a little application running where the spike filter is now removing all those values above and below -3. And once this is complete, obviously this little symbol will stop flashing, and we've then applied that spike filter. So that will no longer be visible in any data and any computations because you've got that filter on. So you won't see that, what we see on the screen in the background anymore. Obviously, it might take a little bit of a while. For example, you might have 6 months of data, so don't expect this to be undertaken within a few seconds. But once it's complete, you essentially then will be looking at a screen in the background where you won't have the spikes. If you wanted to remove the spike filter, perhaps you want to change the limits, and obviously you can go back into the function itself, press the spike filtering, press the setting, and then obviously you can blank these, change the values, don't apply it to the past, apply it to the future, multitude of options. So that concludes a short video just utilizing and showcasing the spike filtering tool.